Do you know that WrestleMania 35 is in New Jersey next month?
You a big WrestleMania guy? I do. I think they're honoring Tori Wilson. I think she's going into the WWE Hall of Fame. And she is a good friend and dates one of my closest friends. And I think I might be going to that.
Who's that?
Tori Wilson's like...
Who's she date?
My buddy Justin Tupper.
I don't know who that is.
The founder of Revolution Golf. Great guy.
I used to work at WWE.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know... Who do I know? I know Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah.
He actually came in one day to drive. Funny story about him. And he was literally hobbling. And, he's a big dude. I'm like, what the hell happened to you? And he just shakes his head at me and just walks by. And I'm like, all right.
Was he tussling with The Undertaker?
He basically comes in the next day and he takes the DVD and he hands it to me and he goes, that's what happened to me. And he's literally like, I can hardly walk. And I go in my office at the time, I had a DVD player and I throw it in and Shane's standing on the top of a 30-foot cage. And I'm like, no way. Like, no way. Like, you'll die.
Jumped off of it?
He basically jumped right off it onto a wooden table. I think it was onto The Undertaker. It might have been on. And that's what right there, I was like, wow, this guy really walks the walk.
Yeah.
I'm like, no argument there. Like, anyone wants to turn around, is it WWE's son? No.
Man.
He's a tough boy.
Would you, so I looked on StubHub to see how much seats are, ringside seats. They're around $1,200 right now. There's cheaper ones. Would you pay that?
No.
Would you pay $500?
No.
Would you pay $100?
Sure.
No.
Would you? Remember, I'm paying times 4 because I have my wife and 2 kids.
Oh, right.
So $500 is $2,000 for tickets? No, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, I would just leave the family at home. Go by
myself.
myself.
Go by yourself? Nah, I can't do it. I got to enjoy this stuff with them.
Get like
my kids.
It's Ultimate Warrior hand or something. No,
it's more fun for me to see my kids' experience.
Yeah.
Going through that stuff. So.
Well. Yeah, I wouldn't pay it either. But I mean, look, I'm sure it's a good show. I think.
Oh my god!
This is a cheap plug. My Halo Sport drink. Oh.
Don't touch it. Oh. My organic non-GMO.
Oh, the original lemon.
You try that? It's delicious.
No. So it's April 7th, by the way. In case you were wondering, in case you want to drop that, I'll do 2 more minutes on this because I think it's that important, especially because you know Tori Wilson. Did you? She was still wrestling when I was working there. Actually,
she's awesome.
Yeah, but
but by the way, very like. Not what you expect because she's so beautiful and she's got this incredible body and she's very just like real and she's a good girl. And I actually introduced her to a boyfriend now and they're living together. So I actually
look at you. You're like a matchmaker.
I'm a little matchmaker. I'm patting myself on the back there. So
well, Shane McMahon is on the card against The Miz. According to this is from CNET, I think. Yep. Who knew that they even covered this? But Brock Lesnar is taking on Seth Rollins, Batista, Triple H.
Batista.
No holds barred.
He was at Preen's service.
He was.
Batista.
He was. They got along. They were really both into comic books.
Yeah, actually, Sean had nice stuff to say about him.
Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. Good topic. Wasn't a garbage there, but that's fine.
Okay. So photo shoot etiquette. Something I want to talk about.
Sure.
Recently, we had somebody show up an hour and a half late to a photo shoot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is it like someone is it like a someone or is it like a no-name model?
Well, is it a someone or a no-name model? We'll call him a someone. I mean, it's hard for me to say that because you show up an hour and a half late.
Yeah, listen, there's a level of respect
right.
that you need to uphold when you decide to come on and do a job.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't care if you're happy about it or not. Put it this way. It could be in your contract. Mm-hmm. You can sign on. You're getting paid. If it's in your contract to do that job, I don't care how miserable you are. You show up that day and you do that job.
Right. And the thing is, look, there was excuses. Like, there's a bunch of reasons as to why this happened.
What were the excuses?
Traffic. Seriously.
Yeah, man. You know what?
Traffic.
You have to take into consideration traffic. And if you're going to be late, I can understand, like, I'm calling while you're in traffic and saying, all right, I'm killing myself right now. I've been stuck at the GW. It's saying 15 minutes. I'm going to be 15 minutes late. I apologize.
Right.
But an hour and a half?
Yeah.
See, I have no tolerance for that stuff. I think if someone's showing that, that's showing their colors. And
Yeah.
I think there's enough talent out there to where you don't need to ever work with that person.
I agree.
So
yeah.
fire 'em.
So yeah, there's no real rush.
How'd you handle that?
I found out about it very late, first of all, but I'm trying to untangle exactly what happened.
Did you talk to the guy?
Not yet. I'm planning on
You
it.
should. You should say, what happened?
I'm planning on it, but I want to know what else happened, like from everybody else's point of view, because I also heard that the photographer wasn't ready. So it's like there's a whole bunch that went into it, but it's still.
And I respect you. And I respect you for getting your ducks in order.
I'll throw a couple.
But you know, it's tough. I mean, people just aren't respectful of other people's time. I mean,
Right.
I even find it sometimes if I go into a specific shoot, and I've worked with you guys have been tremendous, and Men's Health has been great. But you know, there's other companies that show up and they look at you like, oh, you know, you're just a fitness guy, and
Right.
you know what? No, we need you to stay after, or like, no, we need you to change locations and let's go shoot it in Pennsylvania. And you're like, listen, I got a job, I got to
Right.
take time off. Like, fine, I'm happy to do this, but we got to restructure our deal here.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's other people involved, and these things aren't free. They cost a lot of money, and so when you show up an hour and a half late, it's a domino effect, and a lot of things get pushed back. It can cost more. It's just people get frustrated. There's a whole bunch that goes into it, and yeah. So, and then it's like, oh, it wasn't an hour and a half late. It was still, even if it was an hour late. Even if it was 45 minutes late, it's the fact that it was this. The fact that even happened is very troubling, and it didn't seem like there was.
How did the person respond to it? Were they really apologetic, or were they like?
I wasn't there, and I'm still kind of
I would
figuring
have
this out.
personally, if it happened to me and it was an accident, because that's what you want to take into consideration. Was it an accident? I would have gotten it on the phone with the team and said, guys, I really apologize.
Right.
That was completely out of my hands, and I had no control over that. But if you have to be somewhere, you have to. When we have a flight.
Yeah.
When you have a flight and you're leaving from JFK or LaGuardia, you're saying, all right, my flight time's at 3. Yeah. If I have to be there 2 hours before, an hour and a half before, how many hours before that do I have to leave on a worst case scenario?
Right. I mean, if I was there, I probably would have handled it differently, and then I would have just said, screw it, move on. We'll do something else, because we had other shoots booked. And I would have just canceled it, but I wasn't, and the photographer was a little more forgiving, and maybe because he was also running late, I don't know, but still, like, I haven't untangled.
Oh, who was it, Zach?
I haven't untangled it.
Who was it, Zach? You ask me all the time, who was it?
Yeah, well, because you never tell.
You're right.
Maybe one day if you tell me, I'll tell you. Yeah. Anyway, so point is, you're right. Just be respectful and be professional.
That's ridiculous.
All right. Do you think there's a season for certain types of lifting? Like, you know, a lot of people, including us, sometimes we have to market things, you know, spring, summer, beach pool season, fall, winter, your bulking seasons, or whatever it is. I don't necessarily think that. I think we covered this before. I think if you kind of stay, I guess it depends. If you're a competitor, it's one thing, because you're going to use the fall, winter to want to gain size and whatever. If that makes sense. But I kind of think that for the rest of us, just staying even makes sense.
I understand. If you want to put size on,
Yeah.
and you want to do a clean bulk, then I would definitely do that around the time where it's most difficult for you to stay strict for your diet. So for a lot of people,
So
it's
what goes into a clean bulk? I think that's something we should.
I mean, listen, you got to go into a caloric influx, so you've got to be, burning less calories than you're consuming. Right. And I think you do that around the time when, if the holidays are a really difficult time for you to stay clean, or say, it's funny. I feel like the easiest time of the year is from September, Labor Day, that next, whatever that Tuesday is, to Thanksgiving. I think it's the easiest time of the year. I honestly do, because that's like you're coming off the summertime.
Yeah.
Everyone's at the beach, having a few drinks, taking some time off. Diet isn't really there as much. I mean, face it. I mean, it's like
Do you boogie board? I feel like you're a boogie boarder.
No. I don't boogie. I've surfed, and I like the water. I like boats.
Windsurf?
I've windsurfed. I've surfed. I barefoot. I started barefooting skiing when I was 12. I was a big water
snorkel.
I scuba dive. I'm an advanced certified scuba diver.
Skydive?
Never skydive. Never skydove.
Huh.
Do you?
I have.
Wow.
Yeah. Why? Why do you say? Why do you look at me like that? Why? Because I don't like to go anywhere or do anything?
Maybe. But to answer your question, yeah, I think the easiest time of year to eat clean and to train is, that day after Labor Day, that Tuesday, all the way to Thanksgiving. I think you have what's that, September, October, and half of November, almost more. So you basically, what's that, 2.5, 3 months where you really don't have any distractions, and then you come from Thanksgiving to the New Year. That's like this, the holidays and corporate eating and dinners and holiday dinners and all this stuff that people just complain about, New Year's, Hanukkah, whatever it is, and then you come into the New Year's resolution, and then, it's kind of like, post Labor Day. Those are similar times of year. But the summertime, everyone's like, I'm going to get ripped for the summer. And I'm like, yeah, but what happens during the summer?
But that's the thing. They stop with, they train really hard for the summer, and then they stop, and then they, as you like to say, they let their hair down.
Yes,
but a lot of times they let their hair down all summer, and then come September, they have a lot of making up to do.
I think you just gotta go with it, man. You gotta, like, when you're feeling like dialing in, when you want to have some enjoyment and let your hair down, let your hair down, and just make sure you don't fall off. And if there's something you really want to prep for, then yeah, really prep for that and put everything else aside. When the enjoyment in life, meaning like the eating and the drinking, starts depressing you and starts putting you into a bad mental state, then you've overstayed your welcome.
I think something we could talk about is something I've been meaning to talk about with you for a while is being a content creator and how frustrating and difficult it can be at times. You got to create a lot of content.
Yeah.
Because you want people to follow you because your ego needs swelling.
Not really the focus on that.
No, that's not it.
No.
But
I've got a very simple model.
No, I know.
It's just give away, help people.
Well, yes, but you also, you're also a businessman, and you also, the more you help people, the more they realize that you're somebody who's poured their life into studying this, and you're not just somebody who's trying to swindle them like some other people. I won't say their names.
Who was that girl again? What was her name? The one who just got busted.
Brittany Dawn.
Wow, you remembered her name.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Well, you were trying to get her as a guest on your podcast.
She won't call, and I would never hammer this girl, like beat her up on the
I would hope not. But you're very strong, and even though she probably lifts weights, let's be serious, Don.
I just want to hear, what I even thought her apology was bad.
It was.
It was terrible. Like sign an NDA and I'll give you your money back. Like, no, you stole from people. Give them their money back.
Yeah. So you have to consistently find creative ways to reach people.
Sure.
And what we're trying to do right now is
find creative ways to reach people.
And sometimes we have a team here. We have Pierce and Daniel who are off camera. We have other people outside that are helping us. And sometimes wires get crossed, and it's not as easy as people think. And
it's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot. You know what? I think it really comes down to organization, because you just, if you're content. I mean, there's so many good people out there that have good content. I really just believe it's organization. It's this level of resiliency to where, like, you're building the content and you're consistently putting it out, and you're putting it out and you're putting it out, because no one's ever going to look, even if you're starting a social media channel, no one's ever going to look and just be like, oh wow, this guy's got great content, or this girl's got great content. It's been a month and they're going to have 1 million followers. It just doesn't happen that way.
So you've never paid for followers?
Never.
No.
Never.
Have you paid for sex?
Oh God, it was so long ago though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You were young.
So long ago.
You were in your 40s. So what?
Yeah, come on.
You've never paid for followers, and I know a lot of people do. That's an easy way to inflate your numbers.
Yeah, but they're going to get busted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get, at a specific point, Instagram's starting to filter.
Social media police come around?
No, Instagram's starting to filter that stuff. Yeah. Like, so when you turn around, you look at someone's page, and a day later, like, they've got 5,000 followers missing or something. Yeah, no, they're starting to do that. They're starting to police that stuff.
But yeah, so we just had some emails yesterday, and we had some calls because we've been doing this show for more than 12 weeks now. This is our 13 weeks now. This is our 13th episode. Mm-hmm. And we still have some miscommunications. And have you had this with your personal team too?
Yeah, no. Well, have I had
have you had some ups and downs with your personal team regarding trying to get the message out?
Well, not from this.
No. I meant for
general.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, my personal team. I mean, I've got my staff at Drive, and they work on Drive. So when it comes down to my social media, I've got my niece Caroline who works my front desk, and she's helping me organize a lot of the social media content, but I do all my own posts.
So how do you figure that out? Do you say, okay, I need X amount of posts per month, and then I'm going to do this much?
No, I don't even do that. I kind of pick topics that I want to cover every week. So I put out like a social media calendar Monday to Sunday. And I think on my calendar, I really only have, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday are like set days for me to put set topics out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. That means Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, I can kind of...
You go crazy wild?
Not even go crazy wild. It's more like... I had 11 Not even go crazy wild, but like, no, I'll fill that with like exercise video or nutrition video or just kind of give content. But, it's... you try and make... The one thing I'm trying to do now, where in the past I was posting like 3 to 5 times a day. Now I'm trying to almost calm it down a little bit and just, be a little bit more mindful. And I'm always mindful about what I'm putting up, but just, I'm trying to engage with people more and spend that time rather than posting than like answering questions and helping out.
Have you ever been just desperate for a post and just, so here I am drinking water?
No, never. I don't do that. I don't feel like you put a post up at a certain time to put a post up. Like I have a schedule, I have a calendar, and if typically now it's kind of easy because I'm shooting content every week to fit those topics. So I have content. Like right when I get out of here with you guys, I'm gonna put up a video on. It's gonna be some type of exercise video. I don't even know. I gotta see which one it's in schedule. But again, I write it down so I don't have to. If you're not writing it down, you're not planning it in your schedule like it's an appointment, then it's just gonna get lost.
And so you're driving to your Playbook app?
Yeah, but I'm not doing that much. I'm not. I don't want to come off salesy.
Okay.
It's just the way that I am. Like what I'll do is maybe once a week when I put a workout video up, like I'm about to put up, I'll say, listen, for the full video or for other exercises like this, like you can go check out my app. I have a 1 week trial, and that's more just giving people a solution. But I don't like coming off like a salesperson, so I really don't push it much.
Okay. Yeah, I've not gotten to that point. I don't know what it is. We've talked about it before, but I just don't know why I can't pull the trigger on this stuff. I have a hard time sharing my personal life.
I'm not telling you to share your personal life, though.
Yeah, and I have a hard time sharing what I do at the gym because I cannot be. Look, that's also this. That's
not your job.
No, exactly.
I think what would be cool for you to share, if you were to share something, I think it would kind of share the insights to what gets put into work in the magazine and when you're at Olympia and just, or like when we're shooting this, or like at the end of the day, how many posts? I mean, if you did a post a day, 5 days a week, for 5 posts a week. And no, honestly, hear me out. Wednesday we shoot reps. So there's 1 post. So every Wednesday we shoot reps. So you got to come up with 4 other posts a week. And the 4 posts, one could be a training post. One could be a video shoot or a shoot that you're on with one of the guys for the cover or something. The other could be like some cool meeting that you're sitting down to have. You already have 4. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like, what are you really like? What are you using social media for? If it's not part of your work, then don't do it. But no, seriously.
I don't use it.
But you feel bad about it. Because you're always justifying, like, you just can't do it.
I don't feel bad about it. I really don't care. Like, I don't care. And you don't like when I say that.
Saying this.
Yeah, you don't say, I don't care. Here's the thing.
So if you don't care, then don't do it and stop talking about it.
But here's what I do. I care about it when I don't feel like I'm pulling my weight to, I repost what you do to share this. That's the best I got. Huh? And here's why. Because I actually labor over what I'm going to say, and I try to be super witty. And then I have nothing witty to say most of the time.
Maybe you're not witty.
I'm not. I'm not at all. I have terrible things to say. There's not. I mean, in terms of not like negative, but I just have nothing.
I feel like when someone's always coming off sounding witty, it's like it's almost it's almost a little like all right, dude. Like how long did it take you to write? And that's why. What am I doing? If you look at my posts, I'm just kind of giving people some tools and trying to educate them a little bit. Or like this morning, I was on Elvis Duran in the morning for like 20-25 minutes, and we took a group shot. And I was like, oh, it was exciting this morning. I grew up listening to Z100. It was my favorite radio station. And now to go on and to sit with Elvis Duran, he's been there 30 years. So 30 years ago, I was 11.
Z100 was your favorite station?
Growing up, yeah.
K-Rock, bro. Stern.
That was before, that was almost before Stern. Stern wasn't 30 years ago.
Yeah, Stern's been on the air for a long, long time.
Maybe close. I don't know.
He was on WNBC, and then he was on K-Rock, and then he was on Sirius in 2006, and ever since.
I was Duran in the morning growing up. It was awesome. was just awesome. It was a cool show, but for me that was
this guy.
No, but that was kind of fun. It was fun. It was going on. So what do? I took a picture and it was like, "Oh, it was great. Thanks, Elvis, for having me on."
No, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah, but that was like, but what's the big deal about doing that? I'm just giving him a little insight to what.
No, that's cool. I mean, but that's the thing. I'm
not saying I have to take a picture of my Starbucks coffee at 8 a.m. this morning.
That sounds interesting. No, I'm kidding.
Sounds very tasty.
I also don't know how to. Yeah, I don't. You like Starbucks coffee? I think it's very bitter. I don't like it.
I get an Americano, which is less acidic.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, is that what I look like?
Or you could get mushroom.
I might from our boy Tero
Four Sigmatic.
Isokauppila.
I'm gonna do some lion's mane for brain function and penile growth.
I'm gonna ask him how to say this. Isokauppila.
Don't cut that.
Isokauppila. Oops. Hey guys. Yeah, there he is.
Hey man, how you doing? Don.
Tero,
nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
Take a seat. Take a seat. I got a bottle of water for you.
Okay.
Got it. Hey, how are you?
Cool.
Raven.
Hey, Raven, I'm Don. Nice
What's
to
up,
meet you.
Raven? Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Good to see you.
Man.
How are you? Cool. Yeah. So we're already rolling. So we're just gonna jump right in, man.
We were all so your last name's pronounced Isokauppila?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
No, did I actually say that?
Vowel.
Isokauppila?
Yeah, we didn't.
No, it's too hard.
How do you say it?
It's Tero Isokauppila.
Whoa, we were way
Isokauppila.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, but am I saying that wrong? Isokauppila?
It's close enough.
Yeah,
It's-
there's no way I was gonna ever pronounce it like you did.
And what
Yeah.
nationality are you?
It's Finnish.
Finnish? Very cool.
I should probably chosen like an artist name.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be funny if your name was like something super common and normal, and then you chose the hardest name possible that nobody would ever?
Don Smith.
Well, it's funny you say that because Don was like, we were talking about it and we were like, man, imagine if you came in and was like, just had this like super deep voice and like totally didn't look like his picture, sound like it. He's like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, and I'm like, I don't think he sounds like that,
Yeah.
like from what I can recall.
Yeah.
But I mean, I say you did go to school in upstate New York at Cornell, so it's
Yeah.
like maybe you did pick up some sort of accent. I don't know, like some upstate accent.
Is there a Cornell accent?
Upstate has an accent, I think, but yeah, I think that's it. But
Yeah, totally.
Amazing. So, first off, I take your products. So I
Cool.
take chaga and I take lion's mane.
When do you take them usually?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. So I would
Oh.
take chaga earlier in the day because I
Yeah.
heard that was more for brain function. And I don't know if that's true or not.
No,
but I don't-
lion's mane is for brain function.
No. That's what I meant. Lion's mane I would take
Yeah.
early in the day for brain function. And chaga I take in the evening
Oh,
because
look at this.
it's like it's just a nice warm I don't know, calm me down type of thing. But I hear that's more for it's a powerful mushroom. That's more for I don't want to say an antioxidant, but what is it exactly really?
Yeah, there's tons of antioxidants, and this, particularly this one, superoxidase dismutase. So antioxidants are good for basically any time of the day, but chaga, I think it doesn't have any caffeine. It can replace 1 cup of coffee. I usually say that 1 cup of coffee is good, 2 is sometimes good, 3 is never a good idea. So maybe one of those cups you could replace with chaga or something like that.
Cool. And you would categorize a cup of coffee as just 8 ounces, correct? Just so we're on the same page here, because a lot of
Yeah,
people
like
aren't.
80 to 120 milligrams.
Okay.
I kind of find that somewhere between, depending how sensitive you are to caffeine, somewhere between 120 to 200 milligrams a day tends to be a point when the benefits are no longer outweighing the...
Sure. Do you ever mix lion's mane and chaga, or do you ever mix?
Yeah, 100%. So, almost like different protein sources. Like you want amino acids, but different products have slightly different amino acid profiles, and you want to get a more full rounded version of different amino acids. The same with polysaccharides that are common in mushrooms. So it's good to have, or greens, you don't just want to eat spinach all the time. You want to have arugula and dandelions. The same thing with mushrooms. You can and you should mix them, at least the most healthy ones. Not all mushrooms are good for you though. So
Yeah. Well, what are your most popular?
well, it's funny is when I started the lion's mane, nobody wanted it for years.
Why?
And now I don't think people just were into like cognitive function they are these days. Now it's our most popular, second most popular. Actually, chaga and lion's mane have become, back in the day, cordyceps was the big thing because people took it for before a workout,
like pre-workout,
it kind of increase VO2 max, get especially high intensity workouts, triathletes, MMA fighters, a lot of like high intensity training. Usually like people love it for that. But now lion's mane, people are so into the nervous system as well, because lion's mane, there's some studies on helping with nerve growth factors, and I think that was just kind of the next tier, next wave of health and wellness, physical performance, was the whole nervous system element. Now breathwork meditation, people are tuning into, is like, hey, there's this other element besides the DOMs. It's not just recovering from the onset of muscle soreness. There's this other layer of the nervous system that I think it's just education and evolvement of physical performance. So
something Don and I spoke about before you got here about your products were, and this is something I wanted to know if you have to get people to overcome, is do they have this notion that it's going to taste weird or kind of off? And he was saying, some of them can taste, even though he doesn't mind it, can taste a little earthy.
Yeah.
But like, do they have to, I don't even like mushrooms. I don't even like the taste of it.
But I don't think it tastes like a mushroom.
But that's
none of it
the whole thing,
to me doesn't taste like mushrooms.
So 100% yes. So if you introduce a new food group, or actually reintroduce something like, let's say, sauerkraut and gut biome, and for a lot of people fermented food or kombucha is like, first is like a little standoffish because it's new. But same way, hey, when Rocky Balboa starts getting raw eggs or something like that was gross as well. So we've done a lot of stuff for performance that was not dope. But what you just mentioned is so true. It doesn't taste like what we assume mushrooms would taste like. It doesn't taste like portobello cremini mushroom. It tastes like, and there's no mouthfeel. That a lot of people hate the mouthfeel more than the flavor, actually. So what you get is more like black tea. Like chaga is more closer to like herbal tea, black tea type of like earthy, not quite bitter, but
no, I actually love it. They're two staples. I haven't tried the cordyceps yet.
Yeah.
Which one is that you have right there? The one that's on your, kind of by your pocket.
Oh, this is chocolate.
Oh.
It was just a gift afterwards. We also make
what
mushroom
is that?
chocolate. You start with a quarter, you wait 45 minutes, go to the woods.
Oh, I'm
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm totally
I'm waiting. I'm like, this is cool. Open it up, man.
Just like,
check it out.
Because of the earthy flavor, it's sometimes easier.
May I check it out? Do you mind?
You
Okay.
tear it from the side. There's a little notch.
I was just going to use my teeth.
Yeah. Teeth is
You wash your hands?
So the two bitters or
Not
earthy
after
things
using the
people
restroom.
love is coffee and chocolate. So
Right.
that's why often if you want to have like herbals or whatever, chocolate is a good way to hide stuff. So if you're home and you have all
Can you
these,
have this or no? Don's on a diet.
No.
Watching his boyish
have it.
figure.
This is dark chocolate.
81%, and
That's a serving right there, about.
yeah, and then the
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read the back.
and then the only sweetness in this one is from coconut palm sugar. So
Let me read it when you're done, Don.
Oh, that's awesome. Himalayan sea salt. This is great.
yeah, you always want to when you do sweets. By the way, you always want to add a little salty. So
This is so cool. I didn't even know that you had this.
yeah.
This is like a fun. I wouldn't even count that as a cheat. That's something that you can have every day, probably.
Yeah,
There's a lot-
100%.
Yeah.
And when you have really dark, earthy, and this one is like
It's delicious.
wild
I love it.
Criollo beans from Ecuador. When you
There
use
you go.
really good cacao, you really only need one piece. Like you don't. If you're craving more than one piece, it's probably formulated to be like this hyper palatable mix between fats and sugars and if you're craving more chocolate after one or two pieces, that probably means that it was not the best of chocolate.
Right. So, would you mind explaining your background? You're obviously very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
This is very interesting for me to hear, Zach. I don't know if you're really interested in this, but
Oh, he's sleeping.
no, Zach.
We've already met, so
Yeah.
he's already.
But this is very cool for me. So, would you mind telling us your
Yeah,
background?
I'm from Finland, hence the difficult name. I'm a 13th generation farmer and a mushroom enthusiast. My mom taught physiology and anatomy, so I started learning about the human body when I was yay high. She also took me out foraging. My great-grandfather helped found like a foraging school, so in my elementary school was finding things from the wild and eating them, putting them in your mouth and hopefully not dying. And then later I studied chemistry and nutrition, and about 14 years ago started working with pro athletes in nutrition, and then randomly discovered this rare mushroom and won an innovation award for it. So I never planned to be around mushrooms.
Well, you just breezed past that last one, huh? You just rare mushroom award.
No, it's very popular though. I mean, any good.
Haven't
any
you
good
discovered
health-
a rare mushroom yet?
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You just breeze past it. It's like, dude, I would be like, yeah. So I discovered this mushroom that nobody else did. But I wear it on my sleeve.
But I was just always, that one was a more culinary mushroom, serving the 1% in fancy restaurants, and that was just not a passion of mine the same way. I was always into what improves performance. Just selflessly, I wanted to know how do I get smarter and how do I, perform better. So that was I hate being sick, so I also don't want to be sick.
So where do you feel this? I mean, is there a specific stack or protocol that you follow or you tell people to follow daily? I mean, are you going to give me an answer? Well, it depends on what they're trying to do. But like at the end of the day, we're trying everything that you're mentioning, like brain function, antioxidants, digestion, better mental awareness, mental function. These are things that I feel like with what each product is claiming, you want it all.
But I mean, there's also like to layer on top of that. When I first met Tero, he came by, and that was when my wife was pregnant. There were things that he was saying that she shouldn't take, and what times to take them. So like there was even it got even more specific than what you're saying. So it was tricky.
Well, like
even
with
me
anything
to
else,
remember.
it's like, hey, you go to the gym for the first time, or you start eating cleaner. There's a lot of customization that can happen.
Yeah.
But there's also some fundamentals that we can all apply. And when you start to learn about mushrooms or adaptogenic roots and berries, and it was like, what is ashwagandha? Like, it can get overwhelming at first. So I don't think you should ever try to learn mushroom number 15 or 27 or adaptogenic root number 12. Like, you just go kind of 1, 2, 3. And those work for most people.
Right.
And when we talk
so
about...
what is 1, 2, 3 for you?
I think when mushrooms, I would recommend starting the day with chaga. That's a good rule of thumb. It has these antioxidants to protect the day, protect your skin. Skin is your biggest organ, protecting against a lot of pathogens. So having those antioxidants in your body is great. And by the way, then you shouldn't really need caffeine anyway. In the first thing in the morning, you should be naturally energetic, go out and get some fresh air or bike to the train or something. And the afternoon is when you get this lump. You get this like brain fog. What do I do? That's when maybe lion's mane might be great. And then reishi, which is the queen of mushrooms. It's the most studied one. If you only use one, just use reishi. And that would be afternoon, evening. So that's kind of the 1, 2, 3.
So if you went chaga, lion's mane, reishi, you're on a pretty good...
Yeah, and from the adaptogen side... I like ashwagandha probably the best in the evening with reishi. It's kind of like calming, grounding. It's used for like also pre-workout, but I recommend it kind of afternoon, evening. I think rhodiola is used for exercise. You might have seen it. Vikings took it before going to battle, so rhodiola might be good pre-workout or when you need energy, kind of like that cognitive function and energy. And then there's other ones in the morning like tulsi or Shisandra that you could take in the morning. So
awesome.
You wrote 2 books on the subject, right?
Yeah, and the other one was a little more adventurous.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. I think I catch your drift there.
Yeah.
So would the first one then be more of the
science and
would that be easy to digest for most people?
Oh yeah,
or
so I actually I wanted to
no
write,
pun intended.
Yeah, I wanted to write this first I wanted to write a book where I would be pumped to read it, but then I realized that what I want to know is 99.99% of people don't. They want an entry point. So I basically explained the top 10 mushrooms very briefly, the science behind them, what they're good for, the history and science. So you don't need to learn mushroom number 22. Just get the top few. I'm giving you 10, so I'm probably giving you even more than you need, but you have the top 10, and then how to use them in cooking. So there's 50 recipes. So it's called Healing Mushrooms, super easy, costs $10.
Very
Made
cool.
it inexpensive and easy. You can get it from Barnes and Nobles to Amazon to wherever.
So you got the top 50 food activists. So you were named one of the top 50 food activists by the Academy of Culinary Nutrition.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I didn't come up with that price, so
right.
I couldn't.
I know. Did they tell you what that means or what that?
Yeah. Trying to change, I guess, to my understanding, I might butcher it. Trying to change the agriculture and nutrition of the world to a better place. So not just trying to monetize or do what everyone else has done, but trying to change it for the better. And I guess in their mind, mycology or mushrooms and health, that was something not a lot of people or very few people are doing, and introducing this to more people's lives, I guess, to my understanding. Michael Pollan was on that list, and
making a difference through food.
Yeah, food, I think agriculture,
Yeah.
nutrition, those were some of the themes that were there. But
That's important.
I'm the wrong person to answer that.
You founded a company, Four Sigmatic, in 2012, right?
Yeah.
And what were some of the ups and downs getting it off the ground and getting people to pay attention to it? And, now, as you said, more people are into the cognitive side of it.
Sure.
But so when you're just getting it launched and, trying to get people to gain awareness of it, can you walk through some of the issues you had and some of the pros and cons there?
Yeah, there was 2 phases. So I started in 2012, and then I launched it in the U.S. in 2015, and there was like 2 big challenges. One is that I think there's a lot of people probably even listening who have they make this low sugar muffin at home, or the neighbors love it, and they're like, you should make this a product. Or you're like, I have this stack that I think would work really well, and I should make it a product. So the first wave is even though I understood formulation, I came from agriculture, just figuring out how did this get done? How do you can't just make the muffins at home or blend it in your kitchen. There's a lot of stuff, legal, manufacturing, safety. And so there's this whole wave. Plus, I was trying to convince everybody to drink mushrooms. So that was pretty radical as well. So it was one was everybody thought, oh, gross. Why would I do this? This is garbage. On top of it, I have to figure out how to actually do it on a safe and scalable way. So that was the first few years was just figuring out the operations and then figuring out how do I do this. And then I came to the U.S. and it was almost even more radical than in Europe to drink mushrooms. And then you're an immigrant here with a difficult name that nobody can pronounce. You're hey, I have this wild idea. How about you drink instead of coffee, drink chaga? And they're like, what? What is that? How do you spell it? So definitely education and creating products that others have not created before was some of the challenges. And convincing people to leave a good company and come work for you is also why would I even do this?
Is it costly to make the product?
I mean, that's kind of a difficult question to answer. What's costly? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time and effort and money goes into it, and we use 1/3 of our products are mushrooms are wild crafted, so they grow in the wild.
Well, that's kind of what I meant. Is
I mean, they're definitely not cheap ingredients.
Yeah,
and we've sold mostly online. Now we're in retail and from random places, from Whole Foods to Sephora to whatnot.
It's funny on timing.
But when you sell online, you can sell them a little cheaper because you have a little less expenses than if you would be in GNC.
But it's funny. It's funny on timing because I'm sure you've been studying about brain function for a big portion of your life. I got into it over a decade ago. I mean, early on, I'm in fitness in 1999, and it was much different for me then. Then I remember getting into organic farming and studying about organic farming and the soil and how the cattle walking on the soil is much healthier than a tractor, and just all these things that you're like, all right, that makes sense. That makes sense. But timing with the general public now is interesting because now suddenly over the last, and this is my question, 3 to 5 years, I feel like people have been like, oh, brain function. Oh, gut health. There's suddenly specific things that the masses are starting to really wake up to. It's almost perfect timing. Did you see a big uptick from 2012? Did you feel that specific year things just kind of went?
Yeah, for us it was probably 2016 when it started. You could see the kind of writings on the wall.
3 years, yeah.
But yeah, I when I was starting, I saw that we were just starting what I call the third wave of health and wellness, and I knew that the fourth wave will come eventually. So first wave being natural and organic. First you had cereal, but you just had it more natural, more organic. Now we know that natural word doesn't really mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
But that was the first wave. Second wave was you started adding really on the macros, you started optimizing. Now you get pasta, but now there's protein in the pasta. Or you have this thing, but there's less sugar in it. Or people are being more sugar conscious and more fat and protein conscious, so the macros. And the third wave was what I was seeing in 2010, 2012, kind of starting to bubble was the micronutrients. It's hey, vitamin that and minerals this, and even coconut water was hey, you get electrolytes from these, and so there was a consciousness around that. And what we're now talking is the fourth wave of what's beyond proteins, what's beyond magnesium. If you're optimizing for performance, the nervous system and these nootropics and things like cognitive function, what else is there once you already optimize your macros and you're already taking vitamin C or something, omega-3s.
But don't you think those things, like that stage 4, is more important than optimizing macros? And do you put that in a specific order?
I think so. I look at like the stage 4 is hormonal balance, gut health, and I would also say the immune function, and those don't operate as linearly. It's like hormones don't operate linearly. So like take this much protein per your weight pounds without lean muscle mass.
I believe what you're saying.
Yeah,
And-
Don, you talked about this a lot.
Yeah,
Because
I'll
they're
tell
like
you.
the operating system in your phone. Sure, like the hardware matters, for sure. Like if you don't have the hardware, you don't have bad camera, you don't have processing speed, sure. But like it's really the apps. It's really the software there that really makes life easier often.
Interesting. This is very cool.
Yeah.
You haven't tried it yet?
Yeah, I have. I think. No, the shot.
Oh, yeah.
The shot.
You did tell me that.
I'm all about
what
the
shot
shots.
is that? I don't know what you're talking
The focus shot.
Yeah.
There's a focus shot. There's like a, I can't say the name. It's a shot.
I can't say it either. I definitely can't say the names.
There's a popular brand out there that is sold in gas stations that sell shots.
5 Hour Energy?
Oh, that one? Oh, no. The
So-
one that you guys sent it to me.
Yeah.
You sent it
No,
to me.
I mean, this is like similar to that,
Yeah.
but it's organic and
That's why I took it.
natural and
Yeah.
it has lion's mane and
I can't tell you-
rhodiola, B12.
I don't know the last time I took a 5, maybe when I was in
I've
college.
never taken
I
one.
think I didn't like it. I think I took two
No, I've never-
hours of it, like a sip, and was done.
Yeah.
Could only handle 2 hours of that energy. Had to dump the rest
Yeah,
out.
it was like the 5 hour was too much.
Yeah, no,
You
I've
should
had
do
that.
2 hour energy.
I've actually, I know, yeah. But we have the product at home. My wife's had it. My wife likes it.
Yeah, you were saying.
I'm scared to take it because of I don't like mushrooms, but now I have to.
What don't you like about
because-
mushrooms? You don't like the taste of mushrooms? But I told you this doesn't taste like mushrooms.
But I listen to everything you say, so I must.
This tastes absolutely. I mean, this tastes so far from a
I
mushroom.
know
It's
you said that. Tero said that. Erica said that, and I still haven't done it. But I'm going to now because
You just had mushrooms, by the way, in that chocolate.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Like it was good. It was good. It really was. And I should have known that by the name of it, mushroom chocolate. But no, it was good. But it's even when I'm the focus shot doesn't taste.
No,
But
no.
it's weird. And I don't know why. I think it's going to taste one way, but it doesn't. It doesn't taste that. So I'm going to try every single one of these.
You should try it. Just start with what he said. Start with the chog and the
all
lion's
three.
mane.
I'm going all three.
Oh,
dude.
and then you have to do the rishi in the
I'm
evening.
going all three. I'm going to be the most optimized motherfucker that you've ever seen.
Rishi is a hot chocolate. You'll have a healthy hot chocolate instead of Swiss Miss or something like that.
wow.
You'll have the hot.
That's
You
good.
can have the one in coffee. You can have the lion's mane chaga coffee.
Okay, I can do that.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I will. I'll do
That's
nice.
interesting.
Or a mocha.
Oh, okay.
So what's next on the mushroom trajectory? Is there anything else that you guys are creating, or is it just about being great at what you're doing right now?
We launched a few months ago.
Got skincare products and stuff, right?
skincare.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
edible
it-
skincare. It's made out of food. Like my philosophy is your skin is your
Oh.
biggest organ, and it's like
I use that too.
You do?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Sorry. I was so
Okay.
excited that I'm so excited that I use
So
it.
use it. Now
Yeah.
you feel like you can get in
You
the
need
conversation.
that lion's mane though to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wait a second though. But so do I have to rub it in, or can I actually? You
You can put it in your mouth. It's like
Good, that's
things
what I'm
like
doing. Whew.
olive oil, avocado oil,
Yeah, that's the one.
frankincense, these mushroom like reishi spores,
and the melatonin.
chaga.
Using that
Very,
too.
very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm all about this stuff.
I'm happy I'm ahead of the game already, and I'm in it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like catching up.
And my daughter loves it. She's like, it's our little evening thing. But now I got to start doing chaga in the morning.
How old is she?
She's 11.
Okay, cool.
Too early for mushroom?
No.
I'm about to say it seems like
No.
there's gonna be no age limit on it.
No, I
She
wouldn't give it
loves
to like a baby, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
she knows how to make it, and we sit down and we have it like our little evening conversation.
Beautiful.
It's the best. It's the best.
So you were you foraged for mushrooms, so you're pretty well schooled and like so you know the ones to eat and which not to eat, or is it just like a guessing
Yeah, I mean,
game?
there's 1.5 million of them, so I definitely don't know all of them. But
That's a couple. I know.
But I know a couple.
Because it's like I was going through when I was researching, and knowing you were going to come here, and there were some that I couldn't believe what they looked like, and it was crazy that like some look edible, some look like food, some look like other things. It's like what does that look like to you, Don?
Wow.
What does it look like? An egg?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that look like?
A brain?
Yeah, crazy, right?
That's a mushroom right there?
That's crazy. It's a mushroom.
Wow,
yeah.
you really did your homework here. I'm proud of you.
What about this, dude?
Looks like ice cream.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, you don't eat that one? You say,
What about that?
that looks like a mushroom.
Does?
A little bit. Looks like a nipple.
What's about that? It's crazy. It's a rocket.
You can take that
Look
one
at it,
home.
It's a rocket. I mean, who knew?
That's impressive.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that there were so many shapes and sizes of mushrooms. But now that you say there's millions
It's not the
What
size.
about the
but It's how
psychedelic-
you.
It's how
What
yeah,
about the
yeah.
psychedelic mushrooms?
Yes. They
So I'm
also
curious-
getting very popular now.
right.
Really?
Pushed to
Yeah.
legalize it in a lot in some
Yeah,
states too.
it's not legal yet. The psilocybin.
Right, there's a
but
Is there
push.
any health benefit to that?
I can't comment on that. But there's a.
You can't
I
comment
can't
because
comment
you,
on it?
No, I'm just curious
can
because you
comment on
don't
it.
know yet, or because you know and you can't say anything.
Well, what I can say is that
I'm sorry to put
they've
you on
been
the spot.
no. I'll walk around
Yeah,
it.
sure.
They've been used for thousands of years. Our indigenous people use them. They also stone people, so it doesn't mean that if indigenous people did it, we should do it. But it's been used for a long time. The normal dose of psilocybin is anecdotally about 1 gram, and it takes the lethal dose 50 is about 17 kilos, so 17,000 times of normal dose. So it seems safe. There's no proof yet that it's addictive. There's now studies from Johns Hopkins, NYU, on exploring what would the potential benefits be, and there's some initial findings. I think more research is needed, but right now the different psilocybin varieties are illegal. There is another psychedelic that I definitely can recommend. It's called Amanita muscaria. It's the emoji on your iPhone, or it's what Super Mario eats. That mushroom that makes Super Mario bigger. That's a legal psychedelic in every
That's
state.
legal?
That's legal everywhere but Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
And where would you get that from? I'm just curious.
in the Nintendo, Don.
Yeah. Many states in America.
Wow.
Also eBay. But can recommend that.
But I mean, weren't some of the initial findings for psilocybin that it can help with anxiety or help with certain types of mental
So the
illnesses?
themes that seem to be rising in this research is people who have terminal cancer
Right.
and they find purpose in life, and people who are depressed find joy.
Yeah.
But this is again early days, since it was so illegal for a long time. Not a lot of people studied it, so it's only kind of now with marijuana and MDMA. It's kind of coming now easier, not easy in any way, to conduct this research to understand what it does.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair that we all want to know what it does. Good or bad, we should know.
What about CBD? Obviously becoming incredibly popular. I know maybe out of your expertise, but can we get any solid research on that yet?
Yeah, I mean, marijuana is the second most researched food in the world overall. So cannabis sativa is after tobacco. So it is super studied. As far as cannabinoids, I'm a strong supporter. I don't use cannabis actively, but I believe that this cannabinoid system in our body is even with cacao and theobromine, there's a lot there. That being said, what I know of nutrition over the 15, 20 years of studying it is that usually isolated substances perform inferior to a more full spectrum versions. Isolated vitamin C versus full spectrum vitamin C. There's meta studies on that the other one hurts you and the other one helps you. Same with so many supplements. That tends to be that if you have a little bit more of a broad spectrum, full spectrum, whatever word you want to call, tends to absorb better. So I would assume that more CBD rich products that still have THC or other cannabinoids will probably outperform pure CBD products long term. But I guess we'll see. But cannabis sativa is very well studied and very powerful substance. But I've also seen a lot of my friends have paranoia and other really negative effects of it.
With chronic use or with just a one-off?
Chronic use. And I've seen, this is just me talking personal experience, but I've seen a lot of people. I don't think it's physically harming, but it could, for people
mentally, right?
Mentally struggle. Yeah, I've seen
Me too.
a couple good friends not go to good places with it. So I'd be very respectful for that.
Yeah,
substance.
no, it's not something I've ever really gotten into. I'm
But
just
CBD
more
obviously
curious.
doesn't have psychoactive compounds, and it's
Right.
like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That being said, fair warning, technically you can overdose on CBD, and I've taken very, very high doses, like very high doses. I like to experiment on this stuff. And
How high in the milligrams?
I've just drank the whole bottle a couple times.
What did you feel from it?
Well, here's the thing: is like they say there's no THC, but then I'm high for the next 24 hours. Doesn't connect. So like the quality as well is like how pure some of these products are. That's probably also something you should be careful with when you explore these. Is like one day I took it in the morning to feel more relaxed because I'd been traveling and I was so high I couldn't jump into business meetings because I was...
Well, that actually, ironically, CBD. So last week I went in for a massage with the person that does it in my club, and he gave me 2 tinctures.
Yep.
Like full tinctures of he said it was a high quality CBD. I trusted him on it, but I think it was 3,000 milligrams, just 2 full tinctures. And when I finished the massage, I got on the train and I was just like, I was like putty. I was very relaxed. It was actually just the right amount. I could function. I did not feel high, but I clearly felt
So
a
a full
difference.
bottle will probably be like 15 of those, 15, 20
That's
of those
insane.
droppers.
Yeah, no, I would have been
Lord,
wasted.
yeah.
I would have been wasted. Did you feel any effect the next day, or did you feel?
Oh yeah, because the when you eat marijuana versus smoke it, it's
Yeah.
like I don't like smoke in my lungs ever in any capacity, but like when you eat it, it converts very differently and you stay high a really long time, and
Right.
there's almost like not a hangover, but there's like this grogginess the next day for sure.
Interesting.
So
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but anytime you speak to somebody about mushrooms, that it inevitably goes to the magic mushrooms, or
Yes.
like probably then into marijuana. I'm sure. I feel like it just inevitably gravitates that way. Am I wrong there?
yeah, I've given hundreds, if not probably now over 1,000 lectures, and there hasn't been one where somebody's like, "Are these magic mushrooms?" So yes, it is a topic. So now I almost bring it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, I
Just
know
get it out of
someone
the
will
way.
ask it. Here's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Ask me more specifically if you want.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd ever do a mushroom product with CBD? Is that something that you potentially?
We've been approached by pretty much a lot of the, but there's like regulatory aspects still, like bank accounts, and there's like all kinds of challenges if you have any kind of a sativa form in your product. So there's still like early days. So we'll see, but not right now in the
No
plans.
push to do it.
No
Yeah.
push to do it. Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah. So then that would probably be the same with psilocybin too, right? There's no real
Yeah,
rush.
I don't see that being legal in the next 3 years. Maybe in 5, 6.
The problem with CBD right now is that people are talking about taking it, and it's piquing a lot of individuals' interest.
Yeah.
But there's no quality control. No one really knows.
Yeah.
Like you can walk into a health food store, and there's like packets being sold, and like
Yep.
in these open closed
And
containers.
gas stations. do
Yeah,
that,
it's
see
gas
it.
station. You're like, come on, like what is going
Right.
on here? Like I almost feel like if they joined with a company like you, it would add. Because listen, let's face it, there is a level of quality when you look at your product, and I see your logo now. Like you know and believe that this is a very high quality
And
product.
I know how hard, even with food and supplements, not just creating quality, but like maintaining quality year after year.
Yeah, it's
It's a
difficult.
lot of. We have one person full time just doing lab tests.
Oh wow.
That's
Jeez.
just nothing else. And we're not like a Nestle of the world or anything by any means. So it's like it's a lot of work. Like
Right.
every ingredient, we use what's called positive release. Is like we never release it before a third party lab in another city without knowing what it is, have tested and comes out clean. So it doesn't even leave it. So there's at least theoretically, there's no way it can enter the market unless it's cleared by a third party with the markers.
How hands-on are you with the creation of these products? Are you?
Yeah, I still
start to
make every product. I probably shouldn't. But it's probably it's
At
a
this
lot.
point, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean now I have like a couple team members that like help me with the heavy lifting and we've had some like R&D people supporting. But yeah, I'm involved with every single product.
Well, that's exciting stuff, and congrats,
Yeah.
man. This
Yeah.
is-
That's the fun
Yeah.
part.
It's exciting.
Product to me.
Yeah.
Is this the boring part?
No,
Talking
no,
to
no.
us schmoes?
No, but
You
you
know-
know what? You know what's exciting to hear about this when he told me you were coming in. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. This is a really good product, and it's nice to see now that something like this is becoming mainstream into an industry. And him and I talk about it that is taking somewhat of a pivot. Like it needs to take a pivot where you look at the Muscle and Fitness cover, and for years it's been all about how do we get the outside healthy. And kind of why I'm aboard and why you and I are doing this is to really talk about, wait, the outside will look great, but we have to focus on the inside
Right.
first.
Yeah.
So when you start getting the conversations on brain function, cognitive, gut health, digestion, for me that's where the excitement is, because I feel like we have so much potential to grow in those categories because people haven't been focusing on that, or people unlike yourself or like myself. So.
And I mean, everybody who's been in this industry for a longer time knows like the digestive challenges, like trying to eat X amount of protein and like taking certain shakes, and you're like, oh, you're feeling so bad. Like, we're all gonna die eventually, but is life worth living if you're feeling like shit all the time because you're not digesting and you're like constipated, and like, is that a life to live? Like, is that the price you want to? Some people it might be, but like, not for me.
No, not for me either.
No, me neither.
I think the key here is to eat more mushrooms.
Yeah.
You have your program now. You have your protocol now, bro.
Well, no, I mean, but I will.
There's your chocolate. Don't have more than one piece, otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, you better not. You're not going to fit into your bathing suit. No, but I am going to try. I mean, I used to drink a ton of coffee. I didn't like the way it was making me feel, so I scaled it back, and it was also affecting my sleep. And now, as you know, Don and I have been doing this not crazy long, but our discussions do get into performance optimization and gut health, and just trying to, just really, as we said, just have the outside feel and look as good as the inside, really just have it match. And so, yeah, I have found myself willing to be more experimental, whereas when I first met you, it's like, I'll try it, and I did, but it was more like, I'll just try it because I said I would.
And by the way, they're so connected that it's stupid. So like, if you're happy and you're feeling good, your stress levels are lower, so you don't have this chronic inflammation, and like, you're going to recover faster. You're going to build muscle. They're all so connected.
People don't talk about that though.
Yeah,
you know, they don't talk about inflammation. They're like, you need to build better muscle. I'm like, I just flat out say, well,
if
of course
you
you
work
are.
out more often, like that's the whole point of steroids. It's like, it doesn't really make you stronger. It makes you work out more often. It gives you, so like, what if you, by focusing some of these like digestive things and hormonal balance and other things, actually boost your recovery? You can work out more often, kind of just naturally, or actually sleep better. That's the big one. That's like that's the number one. If you sleep better,
that's funny. Yeah, it's just funny just because this is what. This
all I've
is
been
exactly,
talking about for the last 3 months
exactly
since
what
we
Don
started.
talks about.
Awesome.
And it's just good to hear somebody else say it. I've just got sick of hearing. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
It's just nice, but it is good because it's look. It makes sense. It makes sense to hear Don say it. And I'm not saying it to be like a dick. To hear Don say it over and over, it's something that really people got to start paying attention to. But to hear somebody else say it from a different perspective, it's like, yeah, by the way, you really do got to start.
Well, I just think it's just a matter of time. I think
you can measure it, by the way, guys. Like, you don't have to. This doesn't have to be a woo-woo thing. A lot of these biomarkers are easy. I use the Oura Ring.
I was about to ask you about that.
There's so many different kinds, like ways how you can measure your sleep, your recovery. I think heart rate variability is the number one.
We just talked about that. Yeah, we want that ring. Give it up.
It doesn't have to be like woo-woo. This like thing, like, you can measure it. You can test out stuff on yourself. You can see, same way as you can measure if your weights are getting higher, you can do more reps, or you can run faster. All of this stuff you can now, not all of it, but most of it you can measure.
You're seeing the trend now. You heard what he said, 2012, 2016. It is what people are focusing on, what they used to focus on there. Yeah. They're going to start focusing on this. It's going in that direction now.
He was focused on blowing people away, obviously. Like,
don't make fun of him. That's my boy.
He was focused on like just going hitting the slopes and slaloming and. Well, listen, I will trade rings with you if you want. I will give you my wedding ring for that.
How do you like the Oura Ring?
Good. I think it's right now the best in the market because the wrist monitors your wrist moves, so it's not precise. This part doesn't move. I think it's also pretty low key. I think it's great for sleep and HRV. I think it could be better at other things. So it's not perfect. I think we're still early on, but so far it's the best I've tried. Cool. But we'll see. I think we're going to see a lot of new companies' improvements on the tracking stuff as well. But back in the day, you'd have to like wire your bed to measure your sleep. You had this
Oh,
mat. It was such
with the Bennett?
yeah. Oh,
I used to have that. I didn't like that.
oh,
but
the worst.
I used Omega Wave for a while,
Yeah.
which was interesting.
Yeah.
And
now they have the Whoop.
the Whoop I don't like.
It's
the Whoop.
pretty big.
Yeah.
I've got a Whoop. I haven't tried it yet. I'd rather wear the Ring.
Yeah.
I guess I could try the Whoop now that you've mentioned it. I might as well just try it to see if I like it. But yeah, it is big.
But yeah.
It's large. Hey man, thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Really,
having
this
me.
is awesome.
This is
Episode
awesome.
13.
It's good too. This is more of the conversation I think we should be having on here, and I think this is a good education for people. And I think, but it's also, this is the way things are going. I think people now are waking up to this. I know you're going to do really well in your business. I mean, I believe in it, and I love what you're doing with your products. So congratulations, and
Thanks, man.
hopefully we'll cross paths again in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Done.
Cool,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah, and you keep him accountable.
Yeah,
now.
definitely. So you got your chocolate now. So
Yeah.
no psychedelics in there, so don't
Yeah.
get
I'll eat the
disappointed.
package too. Yeah.
It's ecological.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, this was really great, man. Thanks again for coming by.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
so
man.
that's a wrap for episode
Awesome.
13.
So nice meeting you.